YouTube channel and media channel. As always, you can find
back to the ScoBuff Sports Live Show. We hope you had a wonderful break. I'm your host, Gia Henriken.
And I'm your other host, Hannah Howell. We have some great sports to catch you up on, so let's get into it.
Over the holidays, Colorado introduced Fernando Lovo as its 7th athletic director in history. Lovo was hired from New Mexico to take over for Rick George and spoke to the media for the first time last week. He emphasized how he sees Boulder becoming a championship destination in the national landscape. Lovo attended both men's and women's basketball games in the past week and is already proving his promises for fan involvement and investment.
The Buffs will be represented in the upcoming 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympics in a way that seems only fitting. Ryder Sarchett, class of 2028, has been named to the United States Alpine Ski Team, becoming the 44th Olympian in Colorado ski team history. In Sarchett's freshman year alone, he won second-team honors in the All-American Slalom and Rocky Mountain Intercollegiate Ski Association. He will compete in the Alpine skiing competition, which begins on February 4th. Team USA's Alpine team will head to Milan in February, hoping to rebound after an 11th place finish at the previous Olympics in China.
As the transfer portal comes to a close, Colorado has experienced some significant losses. Top wide receiver Omarion Miller left for the Arizona State Sun Devils for his remaining season. Standout safety Tawfiq Bayar departed for Texas, and Imid did a defensive and London merit for Clemson. What may be the biggest loss of all is star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton. While his next destination remains unclear, his departure, along with several others, leaves Colorado facing a major rebuild heading into next season. For more on who the Buffs have brought in through the portal, here's Harrison and Shane with Buff Banter.
It's another year of big changes in Boulder. Alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Welcome to the first Buff Banter of 2026 and the first Buff Banter since the opening of the transfer portal window. It's been pretty chaotic, hasn't it?
That's right, and Deion Sanders, every single season it seems like he's bringing in a new roster, new faces to this Colorado Buffaloes team. We'll get into those key prospects today.
Yeah, 38 out, 36 in, the number 18 transfer portal class in the nation according to 24/7 Sports, number 4 in the Big 12, and just going down the list, it's pretty crazy. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 receivers, 1 tight end, 6 O-linemen, 11 D-linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, 4 safeties, 1 kicker, and counting. It closes at the end of today. But Shane, who are your favorite portal additions so far?
Well, what stands out to me, Harrison, is the group of wide receivers they brought in, right?
Yes.
Highlighted by DeAndre Moore. He's coming in from Texas. He's a guy with a lot of big game experience in the SEC. He actually caught a touchdown pass as well against Arizona State, the Peach Bowl game last season. And this is a guy that's probably going to be your WR1 when it comes to Omarion Miller going out, DeAndre Moore coming in. He also has a relationship with Brennan Marion, the offensive coordinator that CU hired this offseason. He was recruited by him in 2022 when he went to Texas.
Yeah, the receivers look really good. They also brought in the nation's leading receiver from last year, Danny Scudero from San Jose State, Cam Perry from Miami of Ohio, Ernest Campbell from where Marion was at Sacramento State. The receivers look really good, but I'm looking at these D linemen, and they look great. Just all around, there's all sorts of D linemen that they got, both on the edge and in the interior. Santana Hopper from Tulane, my favorite of the bunch, all conference at Appalachian State, then all conference at Tulane last season where they made the college football playoff. A big contributor to that defense. Ezra Christensen, a star with 6 sacks at New Mexico State last season. Balansama Kamara, maybe a more under-the-radar name from UAlbany, but that's where Jared Verse, a rookie of the year in the NFL, came from. Maybe some development.
Shout out Central New York.
Yeah, a little lineage there. Toby Aneen was a beast at North Dakota State. Visited Colorado a couple years back with the Bison. And Dylan Manuel, a nice space eater in the middle at D-tackle. They needed a little bit of interior after the first few additions they got were on the edge, but I like these D-linemen a lot.
Well, Harrison, the group of talent and the group of schools they're bringing in signals to me that they're taking a different approach than Colorado did last offseason, right? Because these guys are from maybe lesser-known schools, but what encourages me is Deion Sanders and their coaching staff, they're telling the media they're spending a lot of time in the facility, doing the talent work, doing the film analysis. This shows me and gives me proof that they're doing what they're saying they're doing because they're getting guys that maybe aren't the biggest of names, but all you can do, if you play football and you play it good, that could be the difference in this year's being better than last year's class.
Yeah, what impresses me is the production. Last year, the defense was just all around god-awful, and especially the D-line, where they got the most of their additions, it needed juice. The pass rush, not good. 2 years back, they led the Big 12 in sacks, but then all of a sudden falls off a cliff. They got some unlikely sources. They went to some unlikely places, but they got some all-conference guys, and we'll get into a few more of those later. But Shane, what position group do you feel like still might need some work heading into 2026?
What I'm looking at is the linebacker core, right? You mentioned the defense was super soft last season, especially over the middle of the field. They got Leona from Texas, who's a standout recruit, right? This is a guy who can be a leader in that locker room, but also on the field, right? It seems like teams were just figuring out and kind of just dismantling this Colorado defense last season over the middle of the field, whether that be the slant route or just running the ball with the quarterback, right? And Leona's a guy that, again, big name experience from Texas as well. He's someone that I think can hopefully bring some stability to this defense and make them a little bit more intimidating, right? I just don't think this team was intimidated at all to any offensive opponent last year. You saw that in the Big 12 play with 8 losses.
Yeah, another guy at linebacker I like a lot, Gideon ESPN is his middle name, Lamprin, from Bowling Green, extremely productive.
Wow.
I know.
I didn't see a proof of that, though.
One of the best names in Colorado history, in my opinion. But
The biggest 6-game stretch of the Buffalo season is upon us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a frigid Friday night, and what better weather for a big-time matchup between the University of Massachusetts Minutewomen and the Colorado Buffaloes. Welcome into Skull Buff Sports. My name is Paxton Haynes, joined as always by Kieran Warger. And Kieran, biggest 6-game stretch, like I said, for Colorado. It is going to be a gauntlet going through these next few weeks for Colorado. They're going to have their hands full tonight with the Minutewomen, going to be one of the better teams that Colorado has faced this season.
Absolutely, Paxton. You said we're entering the gauntlet right now. This is the part of the season that counts. They are facing their toughest opponents that they've faced so far, and this UMass team is no exception.
Absolutely. And Kieran, walking into the stadium today, I think for the first time all year, we can say it is warmer in the rink than it is outside.
I second that. It's approximately 10 degrees outside, maybe pushing 20. It got up to 20 degrees at about 2 o'clock, I'd say. But walking around campus today, it was frigid, folks. And I mean, it's always been frigid in this rink, but for the first time in a long time, it is more cold outside than in here.
Absolutely. We're going to call out, or the stadium rather, will call out our starting lineups with the national anthem. We will be coming your way very shortly with puck drop between the Minutewomen and the Buffaloes.
In left team, number 4, Lila Roach. Right team, number 27, Shelby Gill. Left wing, number 12, Maya Shapiro. Center, 17, Lily Sparrow. Right wing, number 2, Abby Dunn.
Speaking of the national anthem, tonight in Denver at Ball Arena is the 2001 Stanley Cup celebration night. Jake Schroeder will be singing the anthem, coming back for one night only. He's been singing the national anthems for the Avalanche for the last 20 years or so before Amanda Hawkins took over. Jake Schroeder actually was the lead singer of one of my all-time favorite bands, Opie Gone Bad. I was listening to that live album at Red Rocks today while I was in the gym. I would highly recommend to anyone listening. But we're not talking about the Avalanche. We're talking about the Buffaloes. Kieran, like we've been saying, the Minute Women, they are 9-7-0-2. They are a great team. They are ranked 11th nationally. Colorado comes in at 10-5. 1-1, the Buffaloes second place in that tight WWCHL.
Absolutely, Paxton. This matchup is the biggest one the Buffs have faced so far this season. But their season's not over yet. I mean, they're facing the Utes of Utah next weekend. So, but UMass coming in here from the East Coast, giving the Buffs their first real test of the new year.
Massachusetts making the trip all the way from Amherst. One of the farthest traveled opponents that I believe Colorado will be hosting all season long.
Not that far from the hometown of our producer, Nick Evans here. And my cousin went to UMass back in the early 2000s, so
yeah,
bit of a family history.
Nick gave a big fist bump as he shouted out Amherst. As we are underway here between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Massachusetts Minute Women. Massachusetts in red, Colorado in white. That first line starting out the game for Colorado been so good all season, and they showed out in the most recent series against New Mexico. Love down on the ice for Colorado. The starters tonight for this Buffalo squad is Masiello, Ewald, and Fischelli. That dynamic trio, we can call them. O'Brien and Dupuis, the starting five, top five for this Colorado Buffalo squad. And of course, it is Zoe Watson in net. She pitched 2 shutouts against New Mexico. Morgan McLean came and helped her out in relief as UMass gets a good chance on stick in front from Sophie O'Brien, stops him from going into the net, and the puck is cleared by Colorado. All ready to start here, Kieran. You can see UMass a much better squad, and Colorado have their hands full compared to New Mexico.
Definitely. I mean, New Mexico, they let their guard down, I feel like, last week at Paxton, but coming back in, facing their toughest opponent that they faced so far this season, they're caught a little off guard, but I'm sure they'll get back into it as they always do.
The puck is stripped at the blue line from the Minute Women. It's Kate Emerson, who has found herself in the lineup, played 4 consecutive games, wearing number 17. As ahead comes Alexa Cadden. Cadden, that puck comes over the blue line, but away from the Buffaloes. UMass picks it up. It's a puck now, it's Viskovic. For UMass, Viskovic with 15 games on the season, still looking for her first point. As across comes UMass. UMass tried to put one in front, bouncing puck, and it's going to get covered up wisely by Zoe Watson.
Yep, Watson facing pressure early. Minute Woman coming in on the near side of the rink, trying to get in front of that net, giving her first real test of the night.
As we take a look at our 2 starting goalies, we'll go a little more in-depth at the next whistle. As the puck is down, UMass has the puck in the neutral zone. Fed ahead there offside. Juliana McDonald's going to pick it up for Colorado. Through the legs of Hairston, it goes right back to UMass. They dump it. Watson's going to play that puck. And Alan McDonald looking to set things up for Colorado. Another bad pass kept in by UMass. The fed head right onto Watson, and she covers up. Looking back over at those goaltenders, Zoe Watson back in the starting role with a 1.50 goals against average and a 9.45 save percentage. On the other side of this, Sarah Matthews, who has started 12 games for this UMass squad with a 2.30 goals against average and a 9.36 save percentage. Goaltending will be good tonight, we expect. These teams will both have to figure out the opposing netminders. Colorado spending a lot of time on that other side of the red line, but here they come now into UMass's zone. It's Sophie O'Brien getting between the circles. She lost the puck. Now the Minute Women feed it ahead. Dupuis is going to pick it up, the captain for this Buffalo squad, bothered by a couple UMass players. O'Brien below the net. Backhand feed to Sophia Paulson. Paulson lost the puck down in the corner, put in front, but no one home. Fed ahead by Wallace. The records of these teams, Colorado 11-5-1, UMass 9-7. Down in the corner, it's Malquit. She chipped it up, but a bad stick on it. Gets kept in by Masiello. Here's Fischelli. Fischelli tried to put in front to Ewald, but she wasn't there in time. Ison is waved off. Racing after it is Lily Sparrow of UMass. She's going to get there first. Pass in front, but blocked. Masiello is going to bank ahead for Fischelli. She tried to feed to Masiello too far. Picked up by Sparrow. Sparrow's going to send it across. Emerson picks it up for Colorado. Trying to get it Fischelli. Buffs can't get it out. Now they do. Over at the red line, Maya Shapiro feeds it across for Shelby Little. Little dumps it in. It's going to come all the way around to the blue line, then slapped ahead. Emerson not able to clear. And then fanning on it was Kieran Sullivan. Here comes UMass. Circling down below the net, that's Gromko, one of the best players on this UMass squad. Now with it, Pearson. Pearson brings it up top, shot from the point, and into the body of Zoe Watson. UMass spending a lot of time in Colorado zone here to start this game.
Quite the contrast from what we saw last week at Paxton, really what we've seen all season. It's been really even for Colorado in terms of zone time, but the Minutewoman penetrating Colorado's zone early.
Piatagorski won the draw for Colorado over Arguin, but UMass is going to pick it up. Ahead of the circles, kept in by Little. Down in the corner, McDonald's fighting for it. It's going to be Piatagorski coming away with the puck. Getting out of the zone. I'm not sure if that touched Cadden, but it's not going to matter. Rowan Nasty is the first one to touch it. Nasty tried to put a backhand shot on, but covered up by Sarah Matthews, her first shot on net saved of the day. That second line is going to stay out there for Colorado's Piatagorski. Piatagorski had a goal and a point in the most recent game for the Buffs against New Mexico, a 9-0 win over the Lobos. Quite the statement. That face-off win unable to be kept in by Izzy Mitchell. She'll bank it to Cadden, nice pass. Over to McDonald. McDonald to Nasty. Nasty enters the zone. She feeds it off the body of the Minutewoman. It's going to come back out to neutral zone. Mitchell again to her D partner, Juliana McDonald. And then taken over by UMass. They dump it in. It was Balerna who did it. UMass, a good job on the forward check, keeping pucks in the zone. Forcing Colorado to really work to get it out. Hairston over to Sowers. Sowers lost in the neutral zone. Sent ahead by Julia Williams. Dumped in again by UMass. McDonald below her net. Trying to get it to Hairston. Puck tied up and kept in by UMass. Shot on net and it skips into the chest of Zoe Watson. As we take a look at the trivia question here of the first period, what is the only independent women's D1 team ranked above number 12 UMass? Is it Niagara, Arizona State, Arizona, or Rhode Island? Kieran, I think I'm going to go with Arizona State. They are one of the better teams. In fact, I would argue the best team of the independent schools in the ACHA. We'll get that answer to you momentarily. Face-off won by UMass. At the point, it's Evans. Evans throws it down to the corner, chasing after McDonald. McDonald still with the puck, having to fight off a couple Buffaloes. Williams is going to grab it. Down the blue line, sent down to the corner again. Looks like we're going to get a penalty called. It is on Colorado. A hold it is going to be, I believe, against Ella Hairston. Excuse me. It is Zoe Dupuis heading into the box. That's big. Dupuis, one of, if not the best defensemen on this Colorado team, and she'll have to watch on her team try to kill this penalty.
Yeah, Minutewoman on the power play early, a big chance to capitalize and put themselves on top. 1-0.
Couple rebound chances there for UMass. Watson says no. Kept in. A shot from the top of the circle goes wide. Natalie Ewald is going to get there, and a good job getting it out. This Massachusetts team, they are good on the power play here, in 28.6% on the season. But on the other hand, Colorado, they are good on the penalty kill, a 95.9 percentage. Unstoppable force versus immovable object here on special teams between these two teams. Good job in the neutral zone by Mia Fischelli, keeping that puck from coming across the blue line. Still fighting for it, wasting precious seconds for UMass. Excellent job by Mia Fischelli on the kill. But now here comes Riley Evans. Leaves it down for her teammate Dunn. Abigail Dunn, able to just keep it in. But then Fischelli again, so good. What a shift from Mia Fischelli. She's gonna head off. And it comes to Gromko. Gromko coming up the right side with a little bit of steam, has to bring the puck with her. She is on sides. Up top, a shot from the point. And a save made by Zoe Watson, her 5th already in the first period. As we take a look at the answer to that trivia question, it is in fact Arizona State. They're ranked number 8. They're having quite the year. Shot goes off the cage, rebound, covered up by Zoe Watson.
What a chance for the Minute Woman on that play, Paxton. Getting right up in Watson's cage, and she's able to dive on top of it.
Zoe Dupuis getting antsy in that penalty box. Talking to a couple members of her coaching staff. Face-off won by UMass and thrown over was Gromko by Mia Sullivan. Puck's gonna rim all the way around. Rowan Nasty trying to smack it out. Puck battle. Nasty's gonna take another swipe at it. 22 seconds remaining in the Dupuis penalty. Coming away with it is Pearson for UMass. Put in front, and it goes between the legs of Gromko. Kept in. A shot from the point goes off a stick. Swiping at it is Sullivan. She's gonna try to backhand it out. Maciello's gonna help her out, and the puck is gonna come all the way down. That is gonna do it for this power play. UMass had a lot of chances, but Colorado held strong. The Minute Women end 0 for 1. They're gonna stay with the puck in their own zone. Kept in by Paulson, and then again by McDonald. Paulson, puck on her stick, lost it. The Minute Women with that puck on their stick for quite the majority of this first period. We have about 11 minutes to go, still nothing. Paulson working to clear it out. Gonna get some help from Ahrens. Should be icing on Colorado. If it gets to that goal line, it does. And we will get a face-off in front of Zoe Watson. Tonight's stream is presented by TEDxCU 2026 on the contrary in April 4 in Mackey Auditorium, challenging us to reconsider opposites as connection. TEDxCU is CU Boulder's own organized TED event. Purchase tickets at TEDxCU.com. Puck battle down by the blue line. It's going to be kept in there by Sarah Dunford. Paulson hit the ice down by the center circle. Stick save made by Watson. Wallace flips it out. Going to be no icing. That puck's not going to make it to the goal line. Colorado definitely pressured here early. A much different team they are facing than New Mexico. UMass ices the puck, and we'll get the first face-off of the night in front of Sarah Matthews. Shots right now in favor of the Minute Women, 6-1. Amelia Sowers and Herline are going to come on out.
Want to hop on the second camera for the wide shot? Just let the
Sowers with 7 goals on the season. Hacked there by Abby Zahn. Puck's going to hang around in the neutral zone for a moment. Abby Zahn, Aaron pass to Hairston. Picked up by UMass. Fed ahead into the zone by Julia Williams. And then into the glove of Zoe Watson, who's just going to cover up. She's had to do that a lot so far. Ten minutes have gone by here in the first period between the Buffaloes and the Minute Women. The score is still 0-0. The Minute Women dictating play so far in this one. Shots are 6-1. Hairston fighting for the puck. pass in front was behind Julia Williams. Colorado just not a lot of offensive rhythm right now. They have been on their heels in their own zone a lot. Emerson is going to grab it below her net, bothered by Williams. Feeds it ahead, and it's going to come out. Should be icing on Colorado if it can get all the way across. No, waved off. Shelby Little is going to pick it up. Colorado, second line is out. Matthews is going to play that puck, leave it for Lila Roche. Puck's going to trickle all the way down in front of Watson. O'Brien's going to pick it up, swing it around, and here she comes with some speed coming up that near side, across the blue line, cuts down to the other side. She takes a shot, it's blocked in front, and heads up into the screen. Sophie O'Brien, a little bit of an offensive spark for Colorado. They need it. First line is going to come out for Colorado. Natalie Ewald taking the face-off. UMass is going to win it. That's Lily Sparrow who won the face-off. Racing after it. Good speed was Abigail Dunn. But the benefit of the doubt is going to go to Zoe Dupuis. And icing is called on UMass.
Big chance for Colorado once again. Another draw coming in the Minute Women's zone.
UMass in their red uniforms, modeled after the old Arizona Coyotes uniforms before they went full Kachina. Face-off is going to come out to Mia Fischelli. Fischelli trying to put in front to Masiello, good block in front. Now in front of the crease, but Ewald wasn't there. UMass is able to get it out. Should be icing. It is. Good speed from this UMass team.
Second icing call in a row, Paxton, but you're right. I mean, they've been racing to that puck whenever they can, but clearing the zone is becoming a bit of a challenge, to say the least.
Face-offs have been a big plus for this UMass squad here in the early going as they win that one. Shelby Little's going to get it out. Could be icing again. No, it's called off, and Watson's going to cover up. That time, interestingly, they didn't call icing. I thought that was more icing than a couple of the others.
Yeah, the crowd wanted an icing call, Paxton. They're not going to get one. Dupuis is able to cover that one up.
First line is going to stay out for Colorado. Ewald on that faceoff dash, she wins it, but it trickles right to Zoe Watson, who's going to cover up with her left glove.
Let me tell you, Paxton, I think Shira Wine over there on the bench, one of the goaltenders for CU, she was getting into it a little bit before.
Shot from the point deflected and goes wide. Emerson, good defense, stopping a rebound opportunity. Now down in the corner, it's Gromko. She lost the puck, has to chase after it. Down below the net, a wraparound try, and the left pad of Watson says no. Puck battle again in the corner. Fighting hard for that puck is Kennedy Pearson. But Mia Fischelli's going to get it out, and here she comes with some speed. Fed ahead to her teammate Masiello. Masiello lost the puck between the circles. Masiello's going to head off. That should do it for the entire shift of the first line. Emerson throws it down. Picked up there by UMass. Now Brianna Arns is going to fight for the puck along with Amanda Wallace. Comes out to neutral zone. Kieran Sullivan going to try to throw it right back in. She does. Matthews going to play that puck. View for her teammate Viskovich. Viskovich ahead to McDonald. Throws it off a skate. Kieran Sullivan is going to throw it around to Sophia Paulson. 13 minutes have gone down in the first 0-0 game. UMass still controlling play. That puck chipped off the skates of Arens. And dumped again by UMass. Picked up. It's Bonfilio. She gets the puck, tries to put it ahead. But good defense by Kieran Sullivan, stopping Shane McDonald from getting a shot on. Buffs are just on sides. Paulson looking around for a pass. She's going to put it to a middle and miss Joanna Zhou. Dupuis, that puck came across the blue line, so she just dumps it. Hairston for Colorado. Leaves it for Sowers, but a bad pass is going to come out to Williams. Williams puts a shot on it, goes wide. Sowers ahead to Zahn. Now to Hairston. Colorado really struggling to find passes in the neutral zone right now and get zone entries. Yadagorski's going to come away with the puck. Dupuis and O'Brien out as the deep pair for Colorado. Hairston lost the puck and is sent ahead by UMass. Dupuis to O'Brien. Piatagorski's going to chase after it. Swiping for that puck was Carrie Balerna. And now McDonald's going to bring it all the way around. First one to get there is McDonald. Ahead to Cadden. Alexa Cadden working around the defender. Now across the blue line. Alexa Cadden in the right circle. She takes a shot save made by Matthews. Off the pad. Up top, Mitchell. She lets it rip. Blocked in front. Matthews a little late into her butterfly. A little sketchy for Sarah Matthews. Now in front, Cadden takes a shot save made. And UMass escapes. The best possession of the first period for Colorado right there. They got 3 shots on net. As entering the zone is Maya Shapiro. Shapiro lost it. Now back in her skate, she's going to fight for it and throw it down to Dunn. Dunn in the right circle over the crossbar. That shot was from Shapiro. Now back to Dunn. Dunn's going to bring it up top for Shelby Little. Little takes a rip. It goes off the pads of Zoe Watson. Chipped up, not out. It didn't come across that blue line. Now Izzy Mitchell going to clear. She does. UMass coming right back in. They waste no time. It's Hannah Gromko. Gromko leaves it for Sparrow. Sparrow got a little tied up by the puck. And Masiello's going to take care of it. Lila Roche. Ahead for Gromko. Gromko fighting to get that puck out. Now loose in the neutral zone. Goes over a few sticks. And it's fed ahead by Pearson. But it's going to be icing on UMass.
Another draw coming to the minimum offensive zone. And Colorado, they had some electric chances. They spent a significant amount of time in that O zone, giving UMass a run for their money, and they get another chance here.
Ahrens loses the face-off. UMass comes away. Shelby Little. Little, the captain. Across the red line. Entering the zone with speed. She takes a shot and she scores. Shelby Little goes coast to coast and then barred down. UMass opens the scoring.
What a play by Little. She came racing up the near side of that rink. She had speed, whistled it right over that right shoulder of Zoe Watson. And just like that, UMass takes a 1-0 lead.
Shelby Little, her 4th of the season. And what a play for the Minutewomen to get one here with about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first period. You kind of feel that coming a little bit, Kieran. UMass was dictating play, having their way with Colorado, especially defensively. They were not allowing Colorado to get very many chances, and in turn getting a lot of time with the puck on their stick in Colorado's end. Evans from the blue line, she rips it wide. Picked up by McDonald. Leaves it for Zhu. But that pass goes right to Amanda Wallace. Hairston trying to get it out. The puck skipped on her stick for a second. Bothered by Zhu. Sowers and Wallace on the forecheck. Wallace is going to let it rip. Stick save made by Matthews. Coming out, Joanna Zhu. Zhu got her first goal of the season in UMass's most recent game against McKendree, a win for them. O'Brien ahead to Sowers, who tried to flip it to Zahn. And that puck goes into Colorado's bench. Face-off will be in the neutral zone. Colorado on that 4-game win streak. They beat Grand Canyon and then Denver, and then a 2-game series sweep against New Mexico. UMass most recently split their series with McKendree. Dunford tried to get it onto the stick of Karlstein, but she couldn't put anything on it. It's icing on the Minutewomen. Minute 49 to go in the first period. A good chance here for Colorado trying to put one in and even things up before they head to the room. Piatagorski can't win the face-off for Colorado. That is something they're going to have to work on in the second period. Izzy Mitchell with the puck for Colorado. Feeds to Cadden. Cadden across the blue line. Piatagorski's going to help Brown. Tried to put it in front. It goes off the back of the net. Now up top, McDonald. McDonald puts a shot on, blocked in front there by Balerna. And good defense again by Massachusetts.
Juliana McDonald setting up right at the top of the slot near the point, Paxton, and able to trying to get a shot off, and it goes right into traffic. Tremendous defense by UMass.
Now it's McDonald again. McDonald's going to put one along the ice. Easy stick save made by Matthews. Tried to backhand in front of the net, but it's intercepted by Roche. Roche feeds it around. Juliana McDonald can't keep it in for Colorado. Ewald's going to have to race after it. To Fischelli. Mia Fischelli gets around a defender and across the blue line. Mia Fischelli on the far side tries to backhand to on net. Pad save made. Masiello went down hard on the ice. 30 seconds left to go in the first 20. UMass is up 1-0 on Colorado. First line out for the Buffaloes to finish out this period. Trying to see if they can even things up. That puck hanging around the neutral zone. Masiello couldn't dump it. Should be icy. No, it's waved off. Fischelli has 5 seconds to try to make something happen, but that pass is behind Masiello, and that is going to do it for the first 20 minutes of play here at the Rec Center. The UMass Minutewomen start things off with a 1-0 lead via a beautiful goal from Shelby Little.
What an electric period. And I mean, Colorado, they generated some incredible chances on that last series, Paxton, but ultimately end up falling short. And that one goal from UMass, I mean, Shelby Little heading down that near side of the ice. What a goal.
Absolutely, that was quite the play going coast to coast. And Kieran Ryan now, looks like Colorado just not under again right now. Passing is not crisp at all. You can tell that they haven't played competition as good as UMass in quite some time.
Absolutely. I mean, coming off a team like playing the Lobos last weekend, their first year in program history, they still had some kinks to work out. So, I mean, they kind of let their guard down a little bit. But it's great to see them playing some good opponents from around the country.
Absolutely. We'll see how the Buffaloes respond in the second. We'll resurface the ice and get back to you for the second period of play here on Go Buff Sports.
Top wide receiver Omarion Miller left for the Arizona State Sun Devils for his remaining season. Standout safety Tawfiq Bayar departed for Texas, and Imid did a defensive and London Merritt for Clemson. What may be the biggest loss of all is star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton. While his next destination remains unclear, his departure, along with several others, leaves Colorado facing a major rebuild heading into next season. For more on who the Buffs have brought in through the portal, here's Harrison and Shane with Buff Banter.
It's another year of big changes in Boulder. Alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Welcome to the first Buff Banter of 2026 and the first Buff Banter since the opening of the transfer portal window. It's been pretty chaotic, hasn't it?
That's right, and Deion Sanders, every single season it seems like he's bringing in a new roster, new faces to this Colorado Buffaloes team. We'll get into those key prospects today.
Yeah, 38 out, 36 in, the number 18 transfer portal class in the nation according to 24/7 Sports, number 4 in the Big 12, and just going down the list, it's pretty crazy. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 receivers, 1 tight end, 6 O-linemen, 11 D-linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, 4 safeties, 1 kicker, and counting. It closes at the end of today. But Shane, who are your favorite portal additions so far?
Well, what stands out to me, Harrison, is the group of wide receivers they brought in, right?
Yes.
Highlighted by DeAndre Moore. He's coming in from Texas. He's a guy with a lot of big game experience in the SEC. He actually caught a touchdown pass as well against Arizona State, the Peach Bowl game last season. And this is a guy that's probably going to be your WR1 when it comes to Omarion Miller going out, DeAndre Moore coming in. He also has a relationship with Brennan Marion, the offensive coordinator that CU hired this offseason. He was recruited by him in 2022 when he went to Texas.
Yeah, the receivers look really good. They also brought in the nation's leading receiver from last year, Danny Scudero from San Jose State, Cam Perry from Miami of Ohio, Ernest Campbell from where Marion was at Sacramento State. The receivers look really good, but I'm looking at these D linemen, and they look great. Just all around, there's all sorts of D linemen that they got, both on the edge and in the interior. Santana Hopper from Tulane, my favorite of the bunch, all conference at Appalachian State, then all conference at Tulane last season where they made the college football playoff. A big contributor to that defense. Ezra Christensen, a star with 6 sacks at New Mexico State last season. Balansama Kamara, maybe a more under-the-radar name from UAlbany, but that's where Jared Verse, a rookie of the year in the NFL, came from. Maybe some development.
Shout out Central New York.
Yeah, a little lineage there. Toby Aneen was a beast at North Dakota State. Visited Colorado a couple years back with the Bison. And Dylan Manuel, a nice space eater in the middle at D-tackle. They needed a little bit of interior after the first few additions they got were on the edge, but I like these D linemen a lot.
Well, Harrison, the group of talent and the group of schools they're bringing in signals to me that they're taking a different approach than Colorado did last offseason, right? Because these guys are from maybe lesser known schools, but what encourages me is Deion Sanders and their coaching staff are telling the media they're spending a lot of time at the facility, doing the talent work, doing the film analysis. This shows me and gives me proof that they're doing what they're saying they're doing, because they're getting guys that maybe aren't the biggest of names, but all you can do, if you play football and you play it good, that could be the difference in this year's being better than last year's class.
Yeah, what impresses me is the production. Last year, the defense was just all around god-awful, and especially the D-line, where they got the most of their additions, it needed juice. The pass rush, not good. 2 years back, they led the Big 12 in sacks, but then all of a sudden falls off a cliff. They got some unlikely sources. They went to some unlikely places, but they got some all-conference guys, and we'll get into a few more of those later. But Shane, what position group do you feel like still might need some work heading into 2026?
What I'm looking at is the linebacker core, right? You mentioned the defense was super soft last season, especially over the middle of the field. They got Leona from Texas, who's a standout recruit, right? This is a guy who can be a leader in that locker room, but also on the field, right? It seems like teams were just figuring out and kind of just dismantling this Colorado defense last season over the middle of the field, whether that be the slant route or just running the ball with the quarterback, right? And Leona's a guy that, again, big name experience from Texas as well. He's someone that I think can hopefully bring some stability to this defense and make them a little bit more intimidating, right? I just don't think this team was intimidated at all to any offensive opponent last year. You saw that in the Big 12 play with 8 losses.
Yeah, another guy at linebacker I like a lot, Gideon ESPN is his middle name, Lamprin, from Bowling Green, extremely
what a birth
productive.
certificate. Wow.
I know.
I didn't see a proof of that, though.
One of the best names in Colorado history, in my opinion.
I love
But
that.
extremely productive at Bowling Green. Nice addition from the MAC. But my area of concern right now is cornerback. It's Deion Sanders. He's the greatest quarterback to ever live. But he still quite hasn't figured out how to recruit at that position. Last season, DJ McKinney having a really off year, stepping into that key cornerback role, the ex-receiver, guarder, and they still haven't found really a good replacement for him. Justin Eaglin from James Madison was a ball hawk, 5 interceptions last season, but they need that shutdown guy. They got Cree Thomas with some pedigree from Notre Dame. They got Emery Floyd, who was solid at Appalachian State and all Sun Belt honorable mention. But I still need to see, while the D-line could help as the pass rush gets to quarterback, helps out the cornerbacks a lot, but the secondary still might need some help going into next year.
Well, that position group, Harrison, you mentioned it. I think it's the ultimate wild card, right? Again, this defense, they couldn't stop the run, but they also couldn't stop throws over the top, and it's because their corners weren't very good last season, right? So if they bring in a guy that's really talented and can help, another leader, hopefully can help this group. And again, Boo Carter's someone that you see him on the graphic there that, again, safety, but at the same time, this is also a guy who has a lot of leadership. He can be very talented and bring a lot of pedigree to this defense, right?
He's the X factor.
He might be the standout and kind of the wild card of this guy can be first, second team All-American next year.
And you saw Brennan Marion tease in an Instagram story that he could maybe put him at running back. He did back in high school. This is a guy that Deion Sanders has wanted for years since he was coaching Jackson State.
Another great name.
Yes. And he moves different. He is an extremely talented athlete, one of the most gifted players, if you're looking just top to bottom on the roster, that Colorado will have going into next year. Can return kicks and can play safety, nickel, whatever you want. Randon Fonnet, another name in that safety room. The safety room, I saw some extremely good upgrades. Cornerback room still lacking though. But I want to get into this last little more broad question, just 30 seconds. What has been your opinion on the transfer portal and how Colorado is utilizing it? Are you concerned at all, or do you think it's just part of college football?
Well, I believe when I see it on the field, right? I mean, we put up the graphic earlier, 18th ranked transfer portal class in the country. They were 19th last season, Harrison, and that didn't turn out so well. But again, the difference in this year's, I think, approach is going out and finding the talent in lesser highlighted places. It means these coaches are watching film. If they play ball, if they bring physicality, if they bring confidence, this team could have a new look this season.
And I think that's where Brendan Marion comes in as an extremely important addition. He's been on the recruiting trail, but I think he could be the establishment of an identity for this team. And that's what makes it so hard with the portal era and bringing in an almost entirely new team every year. You can't really establish a culture or a set identity. And you saw Colorado struggle with that last year without Shedeur Sanders, without Travis Hunter. Without any stars, they didn't really have anything they did that could just be a go-to and beat teams that way. This year, I think there's a lot more stability, there's a lot more production and proven style that can translate to wins in the Big 12. So, anything more to add?
No, I'm excited. I mean, the spring game's the first time we're going to see these guys on the field, but, I mean, the portal's still open. So, if you're out there, CU could use a corner right about now.
Yeah,
so.
they've lost some big names too,
Tawfik
Jordan
Byard.
Seaton, Tawfik Byard, Marion Miller, but they've got some great players. Going into next year, alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Thank you for listening to Buff Banner. Back to you guys at the desk.
Colorado's own Chris Hudson has been named to the College Football Hall of Fame. The quarterback played from 1991 to 94 and had a decorated senior season, ending with All-American honors and the Jim Thorpe Award. Hudson becomes the 12th Buff to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining a group with Coach Bill McCartney, Rashad Salam, and more. Along with being an All-American defender, Hudson returned punts all 4 years. He snagged 15 total interceptions during his time, taking 2 back to the house, and leads Colorado all-time in interception return yards.
The men's Hoopers have played 9 games since our last show. On December 6th, the Buffs lost their first game of the season to the Colorado State Rams, dropping to 8-1. Colorado finished conference play on a 2-game losing streak, falling to the Stanford Cardinals and the Northern Colorado Bears. The Buffaloes regrouped to start Big 12 play, winning games over Arizona State and Temp and Utah at home to push the record to 12-3. Most recently, the Black and Gold are on another 2-game losing streak. The last time Colorado played at home, the Buffs lost to the number 14 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders by just 2 points. The Buffaloes have 14 conference games left to play, leaving them plenty of opportunities to rise in the standings.
The women's basketball team created a strong record of 12-6 over winter break with outstanding performances from Ziana Walker and Logan Greer. The Buffs pulled off an impressive upset of 19th ranked Iowa State in a close battle last Wednesday, winning 68-62. It was the Buffs' first win over a ranked opponent since last season.
And now it's time for this week's trivia question. The NFL divisional round kicks off this weekend, and a couple of Buffaloes are still in the fight to win the Super Bowl. Isaiah Oliver may have been the last Buffalo to play in the big game, but who was the last alum to win it all? Bonus points if you can name the year and team. Stick around as we'll have the answer for you later in the show.
Colorado women's basketball remains winless on the road. The Buffs went to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowgirls last Sunday. Freshman Logan Greer and senior Jade Masagayo had 12 points each. Senior Ana El Dutoit posted her fourth double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Despite these efforts, Colorado fell 63-56 to the Cowgirls after being tied going into the final quarter.
After the winless road trip, women's hoops returned home to face the number 19 ranked Iowa State Cyclones. The Buffaloes had the tall task of defending the nation's leading scorer in Audi Crooks. However, they made Audi play like a Mazda, holding her to a season-low 17 points with only 7 through the first 3 quarters. North Texas transfer Desiree Wooten and her best game in the black and gold, scoring 24, including 2 buzzer beaters. The Buffaloes were down as much as 12 at one point, but their game plan was executed to perfection for the upset dub.
Off their upset, CU travels down to Orlando to keep conference play flowing against the Central Florida Knights. The Knights are 9-8 overall, 1-5 in conference play this season. The Buffs are undefeated against UCF all time at 2-0. They won by a final score of 81-62 in their last matchup in January of last year. Both teams struggle on offense. CU averages around 69 points a game while UCF averages 67, so expect a low-scoring affair. The game is on Sunday at noon and will be streamed live on ESPN+.
The men's basketball team took on the number 14 Texas Tech Red Raiders on Saturday. The Buffs found themselves in a 24-point deficit shortly after halftime, but clawed their way back. Freshman guard Isaiah Johnson recorded 21 points in the second half and gave Colorado a chance to win the game on the final possession. However, guard Barrington Hargress's buzzer-beating shot was well defended and bounced off the right side of the rim. Colorado fell by a score of 73-71, and the Red Raiders escaped a major upset.
The men's basketball team lost to the Cincinnati Bearcats 77-68 on Wednesday night. The loss drops the Buffs to 2-2 in the Big 12, while handing the Bearcats their first conference win of the season. The Buffs struggled in the first half, allowing the Bearcats to shoot 57% from the floor in the first 20 minutes. Despite being down 18 points at halftime, Colorado continued to fight in the second half, cutting the deficit to as little as 4 points. Forward Baba Miller dominated the paint, scoring 25 points and grabbing 11 rebounds. Freshman Isaiah Johnson led the Buffaloes in points, with 18 on 70% from the floor.
The 12-5 Colorado Buffaloes are on the road, facing the 11-6 West Virginia Mountaineers Saturday, January 17th.
Second period of action coming your way in Boulder. UMass is up 1-0 on Colorado. Here on Scope of Sports, I'm Paxton Haynes, along with Kieran Warger. And Kieran, the Colorado Buffaloes have found themselves in a spot they haven't found themselves in over a month, and that is trailing. They're going to have to play from behind, have to find an equalizer here in the second period. And if you ask me, I think one of the biggest things that Colorado has got to work on in this period to get that back is going to be face-offs.
Absolutely, Paxton. I mean, their draws have been key all season long. They've been capitalizing their entire length of the road here, but tonight is not one of those nights. UMass is a tough team coming in here to Boulder, and they're really limiting their opportunities off the draw. That's going to be key, like you said, Paxton, to get back in this game.
Absolutely. It has allowed UMass to start things up themselves. They're not allowing Colorado to get prolonged periods of time in the offensive zone. And that 1-0 score checks out. We'll switch sides. Watson is going to be to the east, Matthews to the west. Natalie Ewald is going to take the draw. The stick comes out of the hands of Abigail Dunn, and a penalty is going to come up right off the face-off against Colorado. It's going to be a slash.
The UMass bench very ecstatic after that penalty was called, and Anna Masiello is going to head to the box. That is a huge loss for Colorado. That dynamic trio just got shortened to a duo.
Yeah, and Anna Masiello is not happy in the box, and I agree with her. I do not like that call personally. I thought Masiello was coming up with a stick lift and not coming over top, as would be textbook slashing. So we'll see how Colorado can do with their second chance on the penalty kill. Shot for the point is saved by Watson. UMass 0 for 1 on their first power play opportunity in the first period. Down by the half wall with the puck. It should prove, flipped it down to the corner. Now with it is done. Good defense by Dupuis. Couldn't get it out though. Shot put on net, tried to get a deflection in front. It goes wide with it to Sparrow. Sparrow bothered hard by Sophie O'Brien. Well done, Sophie O'Brien gets that puck out. Here comes Mia Fischelli shorthanded. Coming to the left circle. She slows up, waiting for some help. Puts a shot on, a tough save made by Matthews. A minute has already gone off in the Masiello penalty. And UMass already with shots on net, as does Colorado shorthanded, as Ewald strips the puck here. It's Fischelli. Fischelli takes a shot. It goes off the blocker.
Talk about pressure from Colorado despite being shorthanded, but here comes UMass the other way.
Little brings the puck across the zone. She had the goal in the first period. A beautiful coast-to-coast shot that she finished off with a bar-down rip. Cleared again by Colorado. In front, Rowan Nasty almost had an opportunity to put one on, but she couldn't get her stick on it. A couple fans here wanted a penalty maybe on UMass. They're not going to get it. Now it's Gromko. Gromko, UMass are on sides. And kept in by the body of Shelby Little. Rowan Nasty fighting hard and just pokes that into the neutral zone. 10 seconds off. Masiello standing in that penalty box waiting to come out. That's going to do it. UMass is 0 for 2 on the power play today. That 95%, or excuse me, 96%. Penalty kill, holding up chance in front. Rebound is loose. And finally out into the neutral zone. Cadden with the puck. Trying to get it to Masiello fresh out of the box. Across the blue line is Anna Masiello. Masiello had 2 goals and an assist against New Mexico last weekend. Her and Fischelli had 2 goals and an assist each in that 9-0 victory. Here comes O'Brien. O'Brien had to. She gets through. She takes a shot and she scores. Sophie O'Brien, what a play! This game is tied.
What an equalizer from O'Brien. Able to sneak it past that pad of Sarah Matthews. And it finds the back of the net somehow, Paxton, despite going through all that traffic.
Sophie O'Brien, an excellent job. Cut to the left. Found space by the hashes and in that left circle. Made some room for herself and put a heck of a shot past Matthews. That is just what the Buffaloes needed. They killed a huge penalty, and then Masiello on her first shift on the ice after getting out of the box. She picks up an assist. O'Brien with the goal. Call her right back at it. Fischelli got knocked down in front of the net. O'Brien gets it around a minute woman and Masiello. Then the puck was put in front by Fischelli, but no one home. Taken out by UMass. It's Sophie O'Brien's 8th goal of the season. She has goals in back-to-back games now. Little takes a shot, stick save made by Watson. O'Brien to Masiello. Masiello working ahead, gets it to Fischelli, nice pass. Fischelli's gonna take a shot into the chest of Sarah Matthews. A lot more energy and a lot better play from Colorado here in the second.
Absolutely. I mean, when you go down by a goal, Paxton, you always want to come out with more energy than you had before. Now the game is tied at 1. Colorado is incredibly anxious to take their first lead of the night.
Sullivan puts it on. It's sent aside by the stick of Matthews. Cadden's going to pick up the rebound below the net. Looking for a pass. Bothered hard there by Zhu. Now Nasty puts it in front. Here's Cadden with the puck on her stick, but she couldn't put a good stop on. Easy save made by Matthews. Sullivan racing after it, keeping that puck in. Rowan Nasty. Jew been working hard on the forecheck tonight. Rowan Nasty is going to throw it all the way around. Emerson's going to try to get there. Now she's just going to hold up. The puck's going to come out to the neutral zone. Hairston throws it down. Buffs will get a change. And now here comes UMass. McDonald stopped by Hairston, and now Jute the puck in the near side. Emerson and Zahn fighting for the puck by the half wall. Now between the circles, Colorado cleans it up. It's Amelia Sowers coming the other way, down the far side. Gonna bank it down below, and then Zahn's gonna put a shot on. But good defense by Shelby Little, stopping the stick. Amelia Sowers had the puck stripped from her. It's gonna head down below the net of Zoe Watson. UMass is gonna change. Sowers had some room. She was slapping the stick with her ice, trying to get a feed pass or a stretch pass from Izzy Mitchell. But down in the corner is Abigail Dunn. In front of the net for UMass. Zahn with a hard stick, almost got a high sticking penalty. Lucky for her, it didn't hit the mask of Dunn. Icing coming up on Colorado.
Colorado a little too jumpy on that last play. They get rid of the puck far into the opposite zone, but it'll bring it back for a draw to the left of Zoe Watson, right rather.
Colorado has evened up the shots on goal differential. It was 8-8 here now in the middle frame. The shot from the point gets deflected and goes wide. Puck still loose. Down by the corner. And now Izzy Mitchell is going to pick it up for Colorado. Just tried to backhand it out. That's not going to do it. McDonald grabs it for Colorado. Stretch pass to no one. Sarah Dunford is going to pick it up for UMass. Trying to get it to her teammate Arguin. Colorado, they've been a lot better in the neutral zone this period and setting up possessions for them in the offensive zone. Here's Brianna Ahrens. Ahrens scored her first goal of the season, finally. Fourth year on this team. She puts one, just goes above the crease. And Pearson feeds it ahead to Gromko. Gromko walking that blue line. She keeps the puck in. Sent down. The touch is known before it gets to Wallace. And then O'Brien fighting with Gromko below the net, helped out by her captain Zoe Dupuis. Dupuis out into the neutral zone. Got some numbers, but she's just going to dump it. Kept in by Ewald. Natalie Ewald from the left circle. Save made by Matthews.
The moment Natalie Ewald gets her stick on that puck, if you're an opposing goaltender, you know what. And Sarah Matthews was prepared.
Ewald had a very productive weekend last week with 10 goals and 10 assists. On the season, she is tied with Anna Masiello for the second place spot for most points on this team. Shelley, of course, leading the way. She has 28.
You know, Fischelli got that shot off. Another pad save by Matthews. Same spot as Ewald.
By Mia Fischelli. Masiello's going to chase after it. Kept in by O'Brien. Just able to walk the blue line. Tries to backhand it on net. Matthews is going to cover up.
That first line for Colorado was gassed, Fax, and they headed straight to the bench. Comes some fresh legs for the Buffs.
They'll make way for the second line. It's Abby Piatagorski, who had a goal and a point herself against New Mexico. Piatagorski has really found a role on the first power play unit. That first power play unit has been very productive against Denver and New Mexico here in January. Good stick by Piatagorski. And strength, was able to keep the puck in. It comes to Emerson. Emerson takes a slapper, it goes wide. Rebound chance, trying to get it to Ewald. but she was held a bit there by Lila Roche. Now here comes UMass the other way, losing the puck, and a shot from Little. It's blocked by her own teammate in front of the net. Now here comes Rowan Nasty, trying to work up the near side, but a good stick by Lila Roche got it off of Nasty's. Sullivan and Emerson, the D pair out for Colorado right now. Sullivan has been quite the offensive defenseman for Colorado. She has 4 goals and 7 assists on the season. A lot of those coming in the most recent games for the Buffaloes. Another member of the Illinois squadron that Colorado has brought to this club. A lot of players representing that state. Need for Shelley, one of them. The faceoff is won by UMass. And now in front of the net, trying to put a backhand shot with her back turn on the net was Maya Shapiro. Now Shapiro chasing after the puck with Zahn. Bringing her some help is Roche. Shapiro unable to get it out. Kept in. Zahn's going to throw it into the mitt of Matthews. Face-off is going to come to the left of her. .11 minutes to go here in the second period. This game is even at 1. Little with the goal for UMass. And then O'Brien with it for Colorado. Izzy Mitchell's gonna pick it up for Colorado. Gives it to Wallace, but she got stripped of the puck. It's done. Trying to leave it for Gromko, now bringing some help is Arguin. Arguin puts a shot on. Cleared out. McDonald trying to get it out of the zone. Wallace gonna have to work for it. Eventually it is gonna come out. No, it came right back in. It actually never did come out. Gromko by the goal line, putting it in front of the net. Too many bodies there for UMass to put a shot on.
Talk about a diving attempt by Amelia Sowers. Right out in front of Zoe Watson's cage.
Here's Gromko. Gromko, backhand tries, second chance, and UMass scores. Hannah Gromko comes through on the rebound, able to get it past the left skate of Zoe Watson, and UMass is back on top.
Absolutely electric play by Gronko right off that rebound. Sneaks it right past Watson's left pad. And just like that, the Minutewomen are back on top.
It's Gromko's 7th of the season. She is among the top goal scorers on this UMass squad. O'Brien got chopped down by the boards, and we're going to get a penalty coming up on UMass. Is going to be tripping. And a great opportunity here for Colorado to get that goal right back.
Yep, you go down a goal and power play, and you'll get a power play right off the bat. Can't get better than this, Paxton.
This Colorado squad hasn't been great on the power play all season long. They are 16.1% over the course of the season, but they are 3 for 4 on the power play in the last 2 games against New Mexico. The Colorado Buffaloes power play is presented by TEDxCU 2026 on the contrary on April 4th in Mackey Auditorium. Kieran Sullivan looking to start things up for Colorado. Here's Ewald ahead to Fischelli. Fischelli turning her back. Now to Masiello. Masiello is going to circle around and find some space for herself. Gets it to Ewald. Ewald tried to put it on. Good defense by UMass. Now in the skates of Fischelli. She puts it into the skates of Viskovich. Colorado struggling to get that puck with space and had a little too many bodies in the way. Now it's Masiello below the net. Masiello, that big 5'10" frame. She just slowly works below the net as that puck goes wide. Ewald is going to flip it down. Masiello and some help from Piatagorski. Back to Masiello. Anna Masiello tried to put in front of the net. Natalie Ewald up top. Kieran Sullivan to Fischelli. Fischelli in the left circle. She takes a shot. It goes off the body of Viskovic. Mia Fischelli trying to keep it in as Ewald. She does. But it's going to go right to a minute woman, and she will clear. It was Riley Evans. Kieran, this UMass penalty kill is only 80% on the season. Not one of their fortes. Here's Mia Fischelli. Fischelli has room. Save made by Matthews O'Brien. Now on the ice. 9 seconds to go in the penalty. Sophie O'Brien with room on top of the left circle. Cutting towards the hash. This is kind of how she scored the first goal, but she lost the puck on her stick. Out of the box is Lily Sparrow. Colorado 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. Had a couple good chances, but just couldn't put one past Matthews.
Sparrow came out of the gates hot. She is ready. Speaking of,
Sparrow fighting hard for that puck. You said it, Kieran. A lot of energy out of the box. Now Rowan Nasty to Ahrens, who's able to backhand it out of the zone. Looks like it's going to be icing. Sure is. Shots are 9-9, tied between these two teams. Colorado has closed that gap that UMass had in the first period on shots on goal. Lily Sparrow is going to go up against Brianna Arendt for the faceoff. It's won by UMass. Fighting hard on that forecheck is Rowan Nasty, able to get the stick. Or get the puck off. The puck kicks up into the air a few times and winds up in UMass's bench. It's trivia time here in the middle frame of this game. The question, which famous band's founding members met while they attended UMass Amherst? Is it Weezer, REM, Pixies, or the Velvet Underground? I'm gonna go with Weezer. They seem like the kind of guys that would go to UMass. No shade. Sparrow in front of the net. He kicks off the back of the cage of Watson. Now Dunn. Dunn coming back up towards the blue line. Gonna leave it for Little. Little now working down low. It's gonna bounce to Zahn. And icing on Colorado. Coming up after this game, the Colorado men's D2 team facing off against the SMU Mustangs on senior night. Those gold balloons you see down to the right of UMass's bench, honoring the 5 seniors on this D2 squad. And then both these two teams will play again tomorrow. Colorado versus UMass on the women's side. Puck in front, backhand try goes wide. And the D2 team is going to be against SMU. Izzy Mitchell having to get the puck through a couple of forecheckers for UMass. Now Sowers over the blue line. She takes a shot, sent aside. Mitchell trying to keep that puck in. Pinned up along the boards with Pearson and a couple other bodies. Still not loose. Fighting for that puck. Mitchell is pinned up hard along the boards. Finally kicks free. And it's going to go all the way down. Should be icing on UMass. It is. Emerson just able to win that race. An early whistle from the referee calling that icing on UMass. The answer to our trivia question. Let's find out. It was Pixies. I would not have guessed that. I can't say I'm too familiar with their discography, so. But maybe I should tap in. UMass's finest, I suppose. First line is out for Colorado. Emerson keeps that puck in. Trickles out by the left circle.
still loose. Now Masiello tried to put a shot on Fan. And she got stripped of the puck. UMass is able to clear. Sullivan's going to pick it up for Colorado. Feeding it ahead. Masiello got the puck knocked away from her at the blue line. Fischelli working hard to keep it. Masiello doing the same. Got a stick around Sarah Dunford. I don't see any arms up in the air. I think Masiello might have gone away with one there. UMass is going to get a change. Sullivan is going to bank it to Masiello. He goes across the ice to Fischelli, but it was in her skates. Kept in by Elon only for the moment. Fischelli's going to head off. 4.5 to go here in the second period. UMass is up 2-1 on Colorado. The deciding goal right now for UMass comes from Hannah Gromko. Colorado ices the puck. Tonight's stream is presented by TEDxCU 2026, on the contrary on April 4th in Mackey Auditorium, challenging us to reconsider opposites as connection. TEDxCU is CU Boulder's own organized TED event. Purchase tickets at TEDxCU.com. Face-off is won by UMass, and the deflection in front goes off the left pad of Watson. Sullivan, head to Paulson, couldn't find her stick, and it's kept in by the Minutewomen. Sullivan trying to shake Viskovich below the net. Paulson isn't able to clear. Stick save made by Watson. Emerson. That stretch pass is way out of the reach of Masiello. 3.5 to go in the second. Colorado's got to get on the ice quick, making a change. And they get bailed by UMass being offsides. The D1 team was supposed to play a 2-game series against Oklahoma, but the Sooners are not going to make that trip. The weather, I assume, the reason why.
Yeah, one of the biggest winter storms our country has seen in recent history. About 2,000 miles wide. It's not looking good out there. Colorado was spared, though.
So no Sooners-Buffalo rivalry this season. But if you're just keeping it between us, that might be for the best for the D1 team.
Yeah, outside of CSU, that's probably their biggest rival.
Ahrens working hard down there with Shea McDonald for that puck. Zoe Dupuis wasn't able to come away with it, and the pass in front, diving across, was Sophie O'Brien, who tried to stop that shot. Now a shot from the point, save made, and a whistle's gonna blow. That puck was very much loose. But we're gonna get a stoppage. Zoe Dupuis went down hard to the ice and lost her right glove.
Yeah, Dupuis went down hard on that play, getting right as UMass is putting that pressure right in Watson's kitchen as well. I think it was good on the officials to blow the whistle and stop play.
Here in women's ACHA play, the referees tend to blow that whistle pretty quickly. You don't want a bunch of people there fighting for the puck in front of the net. Chance of players getting hurt. Piatagorski's going to come out across the red line and enter in the zone. No, it doesn't actually. But no icing on Colorado. Excuse me. Yes, there is. And the faceoff will come out to the neutral zone. Colorado in second place in the WWCHL. That is a fierce division right now, only behind the Utah Utes, who they'll play a 4-game stretch of matchups against after this 2-game series against UMass. The first, Colorado's got to find a way to tie this thing up. 2 minutes left in the middle frame. McDonald keeps it in, but a weak shot. Rowan Nasty puts a hit onto Maya Shapiro. Now a bang pass ahead. Abigail Dunn couldn't get there before it was covered up by Zoe Watson. The faceoff will come to her left. Amelia Sowers is going to be the one to take the face-off for Colorado up against Ivory Arguin. Shot from the point, trying to get a couple deflections from a couple of sources was UMass. Good forecheck, kept in. Pearson feeds it ahead. A save made by Watson, kept in by UMass. Sowers got the puck off the stick of Dunford. And now below the cage, still with it is UMass. Sowers, good defensive shift from her. She's able to get the puck out. Icing coming up on Colorado. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go in the second period.
Actually, this game's been incredibly competitive so far on both sides, despite Colorado still being down 1. They've stayed in this.
Shot from the point, gets deflected wide. Sullivan is going to clean it up for Colorado. Here's Zahn with the puck. Entering the zone, she'll just dump it and allow the Buffaloes to get a change. Under a minute to go in the second period. Carl stayed for UMass over the blue line. Got the puck taken off her stick by Kate Emerson. And now Natalie Ewald trying to bank it to herself. Fischelli's going to get there. Mia Fischelli in the left circle. Trying to work around, pass in front, and it couldn't get onto the stick of Ewald in time to get a shot on. Under 30 seconds. Out to the neutral zone. Zoe Dupuis. Last chance for the Buffs in this period. Zoe Dupuis takes a shot, it gets deflected and goes wide. O'Brien keeps it in. O'Brien weaves around a couple defenders. She's got room, but the puck skipped on her. Ewald with a shot. She scores! Natalie Ewald! We're tied again right before the period ends.
What a play by Ewald, right down the slot, sneaks it over that shoulder, bounced off the crossbar, and makes it into the back of the net.
Boy, did the Buffs need that right before the period ends. Sophie O'Brien found space in tight in front of Matthews, but couldn't get her backhand on it. It got kicked out, and it came right to Natalie Ewald, who put a slapper on it and goes bar down. What a shot. That's 2 goals today that have gone bar down, 1 for each side. As the final 10 seconds bleed off the clock here in the second period in Boulder. We're tied after 2. That was quite the period between these two teams. It starts off with Sophie O'Brien right out of the gate. She gets the equalizer for Colorado, and what a play by her. I mean, that was incredible.
That was absolutely electric. Holy cow.
And then Gromko coming back the other way for UMass a few minutes later, able to get a rebound and put it past the left skate of Zoe Watson. And then with 11 seconds on the clock before these teams head to the room, Natalie Ewald is able to put one in. It's her 11th of the year. She has had quite the January. And that's going to do it for 2 periods of play. We're tied, Kieran. What a game we've had.
Absolutely, Pax. I mean, that's how you end a period right there. Natalie Ewald sinking it into the back of the net, bouncing off that crossbar. I mean, I can't think of a better way to end 40 minutes of play.
20 minutes left to go in this one between the Minute Women and the Buffaloes. We will resurface the ice, take a break, and get back to you for the third period of action here on Go Buff Sports.
doing the film analysis, this shows me and gives me proof that they're doing what they're saying they're doing, because they're getting guys that maybe aren't the biggest of names, but all you can do, if you play football and you play it good, that could be the difference in this year's being better than last year's class.
Yeah, what impresses me is the production. Last year, the defense was just all around god-awful, and especially the D-line, where they got the most of their additions, it needed juice. The pass rush, not good. 2 years back, they led the Big 12 in sacks, but then all of a sudden falls off a cliff. They got some unlikely sources. They went to some unlikely places, but they got some all-conference guys, and we'll get into a few more of those later. But Shane, what position group do you feel like still might need some work heading into 2026?
What I'm looking at is the linebacker core, right? You mentioned the defense was super soft last season, especially over the middle of the field. They got Leona from Texas, who's a standout recruit, right? This is a guy who can be a leader in that locker room, but also on the field, right? It seems like teams were just figuring out and kind of just dismantling this Colorado defense last season over the middle of the field, whether that be the slant route or just running the ball with the quarterback, right? And Leona's a guy that, again, big name experience from Texas as well. He's someone that I think can hopefully bring some stability to this defense and make them a little bit more intimidating, right? I just don't think this team was intimidated at all to any offensive opponent last year. You saw that in the Big 12 play with 8 losses.
Yeah, another guy at linebacker I like a lot, Gideon ESPN is his middle name, Lamprin, from Bowling Green, extremely
what a birth
productive.
certificate. Wow.
I know.
I didn't see a proof of that, though.
One of the best names in Colorado history, in my opinion.
I love
But
that.
extremely productive at Bowling Green. Nice addition from the MAC. But my area of concern right now is cornerback. It's Deion Sanders. He's the greatest quarterback to ever live. But he still quite hasn't figured out how to recruit at that position. Last season, DJ McKinney having a really off year, stepping into that key cornerback role, the ex-receiver, guarder, and they still haven't found really a good replacement for him. Justin Eaglin from James Madison was a ball hawk, 5 interceptions last season, but they need that shutdown guy. They got Cree Thomas with some pedigree from Notre Dame. They got Emory Floyd, who was solid at Appalachian State and all Sun Belt honorable mention. But I still need to see, while the D-line could help as the pass rush gets to quarterback, helps out the cornerbacks a lot, but the secondary still might need some help going into the next year.
Well, that position group, Harrison, you mentioned it. I think it's the ultimate wild card, right? Again, this defense, they couldn't stop the run, but they also couldn't stop throws over the top, and it's because their corners weren't very good last season, right? So if they bring in a guy that's really talented and can help, another leader, hopefully can help this group. And again, Boo Carter's someone that you see him on the graphic there that, again, safety, but at the same time, this is also a guy who has a lot of leadership. He can be very talented and bring a lot of pedigree to this defense, right?
He's the X factor.
He might be the standout and kind of the wild card of this guy can be first, second team All-American next year.
And you saw Brennan Marion tease in an Instagram story that he could maybe put him at running back. He did back in high school. This is a guy that Deion Sanders has wanted for years since he was coaching Jackson State.
Another great name.
Yes. And he moves different. He is an extremely talented athlete, one of the most gifted players, if you're looking just top to bottom on the roster, that Colorado will have going into next year. Can return kicks and can play safety, nickel, whatever you want. Randon Fonnet, another name in that safety room. The safety room, I saw some extremely good upgrades. Cornerback room still lacking though. But I want to get into this last little more broad question, just 30 seconds. What has been your opinion on the transfer portal and how Colorado is utilizing it? Are you concerned at all, or do you think it's just part of college football?
Well, I believe when I see it on the field, right? I mean, we put up the graphic earlier, 18th ranked transfer portal class in the country. They were 19th last season, Harrison, and that didn't turn out so well. But again, the difference in this year's, I think, approach is going out and finding the talent in lesser highlighted places. It means these coaches are watching film. If they play ball, if they bring physicality, if they bring confidence, this team could have a new look this season.
And I think that's where Brendan Marion comes in as an extremely important addition. He's been on the recruiting trail, but I think he could be the establishment of an identity for this team. And that's what makes it so hard with the portal era and bringing in an almost entirely new team every year. You can't really establish a culture or a set identity. And you saw Colorado struggle with that last year without Shedeur Sanders, without Travis Hunter. Without any stars, they didn't really have anything they did that could just be a go-to and beat teams that way. This year, I think there's a lot more stability, there's a lot more production and proven style that can translate to wins in the Big 12. So, anything more to add?
No, I'm excited. I mean, the spring game's the first time we're going to see these guys on the field, but, I mean, the portal's still open. So, if you're out there, CU could use a corner right about now.
Yeah,
so.
they've lost some big names too,
Tawfiq
Jordan
Byard.
Seaton, Tawfiq Byard, Marion Miller, but they've got some great players. Going into next year, alongside Shane Holcomb, I'm Harrison Simeon. Thank you for listening to Buff Banner. Back to you guys at the desk.
Colorado's own Chris Hudson has been named to the College Football Hall of Fame. The quarterback played from 1991 to 94 and had a decorated senior season, ending with All-American honors and the Jim Thorpe Award. Hudson becomes the 12th Buff to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining a group with Coach Bill McCartney, Rashad Salam, and more. Along with being an All-American defender, Hudson returned punts all 4 years. He snagged 15 total interceptions during his time, taking 2 back to the house, and leads Colorado all-time in interception return yards.
The men's Hoopers have played 9 games since our last show. On December 6th, the Buffs lost their first game of the season to the Colorado State Rams, dropping to 8-1. Colorado finished conference play on a 2-game losing streak, falling to the Stanford Cardinals and the Northern Colorado Bears. The Buffaloes regrouped to start Big 12 play, winning games over Arizona State and Temp and Utah at home to push the record to 12-3. Most recently, the Black and Gold are on another 2-game losing streak. The last time Colorado played at home, the Buffs lost to the number 14 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders by just 2 points. The Buffaloes have 14 conference games left to play, leaving them plenty of opportunities to rise in the standings.
The women's basketball team created a strong record of 12-6 over winter break with outstanding performances from Ziana Walker and Logan Greer. The Buffs pulled off an impressive upset of 19th ranked Iowa State in a close battle last Wednesday, winning 68-62. It was the Buffs' first win over a ranked opponent since last season.
And now it's time for this week's trivia question. The NFL divisional round kicks off this weekend, and a couple of Buffaloes are still in the fight to win the Super Bowl. Isaiah Oliver may have been the last Buffalo to play in the big game, but who was the last alum to win it all? Bonus points if you can name the year and team. Stick around as we'll have the answer for you later in the show.
Colorado women's basketball remains winless on the road. The Buffs went to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowgirls last Sunday. Freshman Logan Greer and senior Jade Masagayo had 12 points each. Senior Ana El Dutoit posted her 4th double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Despite these efforts, Colorado fell 63-56 to the Cowgirls after being tied going into the final quarter.
After the winless road trip, women's hoops returned home to face the number 19 ranked Iowa State Cyclones. The Buffaloes had the tall task of defending the nation's leading scorer in Audi Crooks. However, they made Audi play like a Mazda, holding her to a season-low 17 points with only 7 through the first 3 quarters. North Texas transfer Desiree Wooten and her best game in the black and gold, scoring 24, including 2 buzzer beaters. The Buffaloes were down as much as 12 at one point, but their game plan was executed to perfection for the upset dub.
Off their upset, CU travels down to Orlando to keep conference play flowing against the Central Florida Knights. The Knights are 9-8 overall, 1-5 in conference play this season. The Buffs are undefeated against UCF all time at 2-0. They won by a final score of 81-62 in their last matchup in January of last year. Both teams struggle on offense. CU averages around 69 points a game while UCF averages 67, so expect a low-scoring affair. The game is on Sunday at noon and will be streamed live on ESPN+.
The men's basketball team took on the number 14 Texas Tech Red Raiders on Saturday. The Buffs found themselves in a 24-point deficit shortly after halftime, but clawed their way back. Freshman guard Isaiah Johnson recorded 21 points in the second half and gave Colorado a chance to win the game on the final possession. However, guard Barrington Hargress's buzzer-beating shot was well defended and bounced off the right side of the rim. Colorado fell by a score of 73-71, and the Red Raiders escaped a major upset.
The men's basketball team lost to the Cincinnati Bearcats 77-68 on Wednesday night. The loss drops the Buffs to 2-2 in the Big 12, while handing the Bearcats their first conference win of the season. The Buffs struggled in the first half, allowing the Bearcats to shoot 57% from the floor in the first 20 minutes. Despite being down 18 points at halftime, Colorado continued to fight in the second half, cutting the deficit to as little as 4 points. Forward Baba Miller dominated the paint, scoring 25 points and grabbing 11 rebounds. Freshman Isaiah Johnson led the Buffaloes in points, with 18 on 70% from the floor.
The 12-5 Colorado Buffaloes are on the road facing the 11-6 West Virginia Mountaineers Saturday, January 17th at the WVU Coliseum. The Buffs are looking to bounce back after a tough road loss at Cincinnati, where the slow start pulled them from making a comeback in the second half. While West Virginia has lacked consistency this season, they are led by guard Honor Huff, averaging 17.5 points and a pressure defense that can pose another challenge. For Colorado, they will need to survive the tough road environment and rely on the exceptional offense in Isaiah Johnson and improve on the defensive field.
The 12-5 Colorado Buffaloes are set to host the 12-5 Kansas Jayhawks Tuesday, January 20th for pivotal conference matchup at the CU Event Center. This is anticipated to be one of the biggest games of the year for the Buffaloes, as both teams sit even in the Big 12 standings. Kansas, coming off a high win, ending Iowa State's 16-game winning streak, are powered by efficient shooting paired with strong defensive stops. For the Buffs, they bring a high offensive output, averaging mid-80s points per game. With both teams looking to get ahead, Tuesday's 9 p.m. matchup is shaping up to be an exciting one.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
After a long winter break, the men's D1 hockey team returns to the rec for a series against the University of Mary Marauders. The Buffs are coming off of 2 exhibition games against the Vale Yeti, in which they lost both. Coming back into regular season play, the Buffs sit at 7-12-1 on the season for 9th, and the WCHL Colorado will be looking for revenge against the Marauders, who swept them in their previous series back in September. The games are at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Friday and 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Saturday, as the Buffs look to stop Mary's 5-game win streak. The games will be streamed live right here on ScoBuff Sports.
The Red Hot men's D2 hockey team has a busy week with 4 straight game days.
The Buffaloes and Minutewomen have 20 minutes left to decide this one. We are tied at 2 apiece, heading into the 3rd. Welcome into ScoBuff Sports for our final 20 minutes of action. I'm Paxton Haynes with Kieran Warger. And Kieran, what a game this has been, back and forth. UMass has gone up in both periods, and both times Colorado has come back to tie it up.
Absolutely. I mean, that second period, it was really all Colorado. They put up 2 goals in that period, including don't want to call it buzzer beater, but that late goal from Natalie Ewald sneaking it in. That is how you end a period, Paxton. That is exciting.
Absolutely. Buffs needed it. They did not want to go into the room down a goal once again. They're feeling good. The team is dancing on the bench to the music overhead, hyping their team up for the final 20.
These teams are ready to go, Paxton. The clock here in the rink is not even expired, but they're going to put 20 minutes back on.
That's just how antsy both these teams are to go at it here in the third. Clock is down. 2-2 is the score between Colorado and Massachusetts. Both these teams having incredible seasons so far. Only one can come out victorious. And we will see who it's going to be here at the Rec Center in Boulder. Zoe Dupuis behind her net. The starting five is out there for Colorado, just like they have been all season. That five stacked together, so good. Dupuis, long pass ahead for Masiello. She just tips it into the zone. And Shelby Little with some speed, gets across the blue line. She takes a shot, it goes above the crease and wide. Vishelli to Piatigorsky. Piatigorsky's out with Masiello. Masiello had room in front of the net, but couldn't calm the puck down on her stick. Piatigorsky up top to Sullivan. Sullivan back down to Piatigorsky. Rowan Nasty on the ice, she goes down. And the glove save is made by Sarah Matthews. Sarah Matthews wearing a C on her chest this evening. Her and Shelby Little are the two captains of this squad. Interesting to see a goalie wear the C. Kind of like Roberto Luongo back in the day. I say back in the day, it was like 2010, 2015. Puck loose in neutral zone. Finally, it's going to come out to UMass. Here's Pearson. Pearson on the far side. She's going to throw it around, looking for some help from Evans. Evans is there, but it starts a puck battle. Kept in. A shot from Evans. Stick save made. Kicks off the glass. And a save made by Zoe Watson. What a dangerous and unconventional play.
Wow. So Kay Emerson caught up in the net. She's able to escape unharmed.
The puck went wide. It got kicked up and it went off of the glass and right in front of Zoe Watson over the crossbar and into her crease. She was just able to get on top of it and prevent that puck from going in. That would be the greaser goal of all greaser goals for UMass. Now backhand try and another save made by Watson, her 19th of the night. Or excuse me, her 16th of the night. I'm sure she'll get to at least 19 before the game ends. Face off won by UMass. Shot from the point, tried to get a deflection in front. Now a second opportunity. That turnaround shot went wide. Colorado spending all 2 minutes, or most of the first 2 minutes of this third period in their own zone. Trying to clear is Izzy Mitchell with some help from Zamba. UMass keeps it in. That puck goes through the crease. Kept in still by UMass. McDonald couldn't put enough mustard on to get it out. Izzy Mitchell's going to try to do so. Still kept in by UMass. Viskovich was able to keep it in. Puck goes past McDonald. And that forecheck strong from UMass. Avizon, finally Colorado's going to get it out of the zone, but she throws it into the skates of Sowers. UMass is going to head right back in. That puck couldn't get covered up by Watson. We play on. Here's McDonald. McDonald lost the puck by the left circle. Now trying to regain it. Jew in front of the net. Puts one on and Zoe Watson covers up. Looking a little bit like the first period right now, Kieran, between UMass and the Buffaloes. The Minutewomen dictating play so far in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's been all UMass these first 3 minutes or so here in this third period. Colorado still trying to find their game that they had in the second.
Colorado wins the draw, but they are not able to clear. Still kept in by UMass. A shot from the point. Tried to get a deflection in front. Was McDonald. It goes wide. Dupuis leaves it for O'Brien. the top pairing of this squad is able to get it out for Colorado. But picking up that possession right back was UMass. Ju just gonna throw it down in the corner. UMass is gonna get a change. Long pass from Dupuis to Ahrens. Ahrens hit in the neutral zone. And UMass again. Shea McDonald has been out there for quite a while now. Abigail Dunn with the puck, but UMass is offsides.
Late whistle there from the linesman after that for that offsides call against the Minutewoman.
The UMass team, a little questioning of that offsides call, but the puck is going to come out to the neutral zone. First line is out for Colorado. It's Ewald taking the draw. Up against Sparrow. Tied up, and Fischelli and the Buffaloes are going to come away with it. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan, backhand. Couldn't get the pass to Fischelli. Now Fischelli ahead to Masiello. Here comes Anna Masiello over the blue line. Holds up. Tried to feed it to Fischelli in front of the net. Fischelli down in the corner. Backhand pass ends up in the hands of UMass. It's Maya Shapiro. Sullivan working to keep that puck off the stick of UMass so they couldn't enter the zone. Here's Abigail Dunn. Dunn looking to dump it. She'll just enter the zone. But UMass was getting the change, got the puck stripped off her. Still stays with UMass. Here's Gromko. Gromko had a goal in the second, but she lost the puck. And that first line now looking to start something up. That pass too far for Ewald, and they'll just get a change. Bank pass was not touched by Ivory Arguin. And icing is called on UMass. Our third and final trivia question of the game here tonight. When UMass was founded in 1863, it was exclusively a blank college. Law, liberal arts, engineering, or architectural? Or agricultural, excuse me, not architectural. Kieran, I don't know about you. I'm gonna go with law.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna second that, Paxton. I mean,
we'll get you that answer shortly.
UMass really known for, I think, business and law. That's like their two big programs.
Dwell on that question. We'll get the answer to you shortly. Watson covers up the puck, and the faceoff is going to come to her right. Zoe Watson with 18 saves on the day. Matthews with 11. Faceoff is won by UMass. Evans slides it across, and a shot from the point. Deflection, loose puck in front of the net, and Zoe Watson is able to get a glove on it. A shot from Viskovich, hit a stick in front of the net, and then got loose. But Zoe Watson was ready. Quite the crowd here tonight. The Buff Gold Club cheer squad and dance team is here to cheer on the women's hockey team.
Always nice to see Buffs Gold coming out and supporting our club teams here. Just brings a little extra energy.
Absolutely. Colorado's going to find some energy themselves here in the third period. It's been all UMass. Good stick by Dupuis. Down in the corner, Nasty was able to keep it in. It kicked off her skate right in front of the net. With it is UMass, it's Cruson, and then Evans. Below the circle, loose puck in front of the net, goes through the crease of Watson. Zahn was not able to clear, trying to get some help from Hairston. Now Zahn does it herself. Both these teams getting fresh legs out on the ice. We'll see how the elevation affects UMass here in the third period in a tough game like this. Both these teams skating hard. Massachusetts, not exactly the most elevated state in the country. Boulder, Colorado, of course, known for it. As the answer to our trivia question, When it was founded, UMass was exclusively an agricultural college. Both CSU and UMass were founded in the same act, and both agricultural colleges. Emerson couldn't hold on to that puck. He's going to get flipped out to the neutral zone. And beyond, here's Wallace. Wallace, too far for Paulson, going to be icing on Colorado. Tonight's stream is presented by TEDxCU 2026, on the contrary, on April 4th in Mackey Auditorium, challenging us to reconsider opposites as connection. TEDxCU is CU Boulder's own organized TED event. Purchase tickets at TEDxCU.com. UMass keeps it in. Wallace trying to get it past Sarah Dunford down in front of the Colorado bench. But incredible forecheck by UMass, as it has been all night. Sullivan is going to come away with that puck after that battle. But she flips it right to Abigail Dunn, who puts it into the skate of her teammate Sparrow. Wallace and Dunn go down to the ice. Here's Sparrow with the puck. Lily Sparrow down in the corner. Traversing to the other side. Loose puck. Zoe Watson didn't know that it was loose, and it gets put in the back of the net. Maya Shapiro, her 5th of the season, and once again, UMass is on top. A few too many loose pucks right in the crease of Zoe Watson in this third period. And finally, the Minute women cash in.
Huge momentum shift.
Ewald and that first line out for Colorado, looking to see if they can get that goal right back. Colorado has done it twice this game. UMass offsides. They got to tag up and let Izzy Mitchell start things up for Colorado. The bank pass goes right to Shelby Little, who put on the tape with Pearson. Pearson enters from the far side, and it winds up in the glove of Zoe Watson. Colorado has not been in this position, down a goal in the third period in quite a while. The last time, the December game against Grand Canyon, one that they lost 3-2, in fact. It is their last loss to date. Shelley gets the puck. She's in the right circle. She takes a shot, and a save made by Matthews. Good chance there for Mia Shelley. Had a lot of room in that right circle where she likes it. Tried to go short side on Matthews, but she made the save with the glove.
Yeah, Matthews really being tested as Shelley heads to the bench. Particularly from those awkward angles, what Shelley is known for, but she's risen to the occasion time and time again.
Shelley a little frustrated with herself, hitting her stick along the bench as she was entering it. Hoping for a better shot, I suppose. Cadden in the offensive zone below the net is Matthews. Got the puck taken away from her, and it comes out of the zone. Here's Pearson. Pearson's going to gain the red line and dump it, but it's put on net. The puck is loose. Zoe Watson was going to leave it for Dupuis, but coming in hot was Hope Viskovich. That stretch passed too far. Julia Williams then lost the puck. Here's Alexa Cadden. Cadden above the hashes. But the shot was blocked in front of the net. Love to get a partial change. Sowers wins the puck battle. Now in front of the net. That's Hairston fighting hard to try to get that puck on her stick. Sullivan keeps it in. 10 minutes left to go in this one-goal game. UMass leads at 3-2. Colorado has goals from O'Brien and Ewald, as the shot from Emerson kicked on her a little bit and just popped up into the air. Sowers to Zahn. And that UMass forecheck just been suffocating all night long. Okay, Emerson gets the first line out there with her, or at least 2/3 of it. Zahn is gonna head out for Masiello. Fischelli throws down Malquit to the ice. Puck comes out. Kieran Sullivan ahead to Fischelli. Fischelli's got to chase after it. She'll leave it for Emerson. Trying to get it Fischelli. Not sure that touched the buff. They're saying it did. Kept in by the stick of Ewald. But that first line shift is short-lived, at least for Mia Fischelli. She heads off. Izzy Mitchell. Try to keep it in, but put it right to the stick of Malquit. Sophia Paulson's going to chase after it. Her forecheck game is incredible. One of the best on this Colorado team. Abby Malquit across the red line. He's going to dump it. Played there by Watson. 8.5 to go. Colorado needs an equalizer. Right now, they're just trying to keep the puck on their stick as UMass enters the zone once again. Taken care of by O'Brien. Now Paulson goes hard into the boards along with Shapiro. Pass intercepted by Dunn. Dunn gets it to Shapiro, who's a little bit behind her, and Arns took that puck away. Bank pass to Wallace. Wallace has got room on the far side. Tried to put a shot on, but met by the stick of Shelby Little. Zoe Dupuis. Piatagorski. Piatagorski, that puck, I thought it came across the blue line, but they say it didn't, the referees, that is. Offsides is the call, 7:30 to go in the third period. Piatagorski in the second line is going to stay out for Colorado. Quick whistle before we drop the puck. Face-off won by CU. O'Brien slides it to Dupuis. He throws it down to the left side of Matthews' net. Kept in by Cadden. Now trying to fight for that puck. It's going to get to Nasty below the net. Rowan Nasty to Cadden. Cadden getting it up top. O'Brien crosses ice to Dupuis. Dupuis tried to put it in front, but Gromko's stick was in the way. He's able to clear. Just kidding. Now they finally do. Piatagorski to Dupuis. Dupuis trying to get around Gromko, but instead Gromko is going to have room in the left circle. Gromko in front of the net, getting in tight, and UMass scores. Hannah Gromko just snuck it inside the right post, and UMass has a 2-goal lead.
Biggest lead of the night for the Minutewomen of Massachusetts. Able to sneak that one past Zoe Watson's left pad once again. Getting right up in her cage, in her crease.
Zoe Dupuis lost the puck at the blue line. Gromko was there, raced after the puck, and then came right in to the face of Zoe Watson and was able to just sneak it past. Her second kind of greaser rebound goal of the night for Hannah Gromko. She has 7 and 8 on the season in this game. Colorado in a little bit of a hole. They have to get 2 goals in 6 minutes to try to send this thing to overtime. Sullivan keeps it in for Colorado, but sent it right to Malquit. And then kept in by Fischelli with the right hand. Only for the moment, it comes back out to neutral zone. Here's Zhu. Zhu's going to let it rip. It went off the stick of Masiello. Emerson went to Masiello, went to Sowers, and now ahead to Fischelli. Mia Fischelli trying to get around Zhu. Mia Fischelli is going to hold out, keep that puck on her stick in front of the net. Here's a shot save made, and then going hard into the boards with Masiello. Second chance. Masiello still on the knee, taking a second to get up.
Yeah, the crowd wanted a penalty there. They're not going to get one as Masiello went sliding into the boards, and UMass has iced the puck.
Masiello's going to head off, as will the rest of the first line. A great chance there for Masiello to try to get one right back for CU. After this game, the men's D2 team is going to face off against Southern Methodist University, the Mustangs, making the trip from Dallas. It is senior night for the D2 team, celebrating the 5 seniors on that squad. That game will be streamed live here on Scobuff Sports after this one. Before that, we'll see if Colorado can get a couple of goals. 5 minutes, they have time, but they need that first one pretty soon. Down in the corner, it's Arguin. Now to Abigail Dunn. Dunn changes course. Heading now to the left side of Watson. Changing course again. Here's Shapiro, got the puck taken away from her by Ahrens. Ahrens couldn't get it out. It was kept in by Riley Evans. 4.5 to go. Izzy Mitchell alone in the corner, trying to bank it to Paulson. That's not going to get the puck out. It's been a big problem for Colorado all night long. Below the net, Brianna Ahrens able to clear it. It might have gone off the stick of Riley Evans. Icing is waved off. Fresh legs out for Colorado for the second line. Piatagorski trying to take the puck away, but not phased with Julia Williams, but UMass was too early into the zone. They are offsides. UMass has started to build that differential in shots on net. Colorado had tied it in the second period, but now it's 23-16 in favor of the Minutewomen. And we're actually going to get a penalty on UMass. It's Maya Shapiro who's heading to the box. A power play coming up for Colorado, and a big one at that. They're 0 for 1 tonight, but down 2 and under 4 minutes to go. They need this one here, Kieran.
I think Piatagorski's going to get this draw. Colorado needs to capitalize. Looks like there's a bit of a discrepancy between the officials. Timeout has been called, rather.
Coach Wilburn's going to take a timeout.
It's the entire Colorado bench coming out onto the ice.
Still 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go in this game. But Kieran, you look at the grand scheme of the final 8 regular season games for this Colorado squad. This series is a big one for Colorado to stay afloat in the WWCHL, fighting Utah for that first spot. Tonight's stream is presented by TEDxCU 2026 on the contrary on April 4th in Mackey Auditorium, challenging us to reconsider opposites as connection. TEDxCU is CU Boulder's own organized TED event. Purchase tickets at TEDxCU.com.
This is a big moment for Colorado, Paxton. They're down by 2, less than 4 minutes remaining in the period. A big chance for them to come back, getting their first line out on the ice.
Colorado's only 16% on the power play this season, but they were 3 for 4 in the 2 games against New Mexico. They're 0 for 1 tonight. The first here is out. Piatagorski is going to take the draw. Colorado's best face-off man, face-off woman. She's up against Joanna Zhu. Face-off won by Colorado. Here's Fischelli. Fischelli's going to let it rip, blocked in front. It went off of Ewald. Now Fischelli congested with Masiello, and UMass is going to clear. Sullivan having to fight off Hannah Gromko. UMass looking to apply some pressure here on the PK. Piatagorski. That pass went between Masiello and Fischelli, and then a hard pass, or a dump rather, went into the bench of Colorado. The face-off will be in the neutral zone on the east side of the red line. It's won by UMass. They get all the way down. 30 seconds have bled off the clock here in Colorado's second power play opportunity of the night. They need one here. Ewald couldn't get that puck when it was between her skates. UMass clears again. First unit is going to stay out for Colorado. It's Fischelli. Mia Fischelli couldn't get around Sparrow. They'll have to restart. Zoe Dupuis fresh out on the ice, and the second unit is going to come out for Colorado. Zoe Dupuis looking for someone. She's just going to flip it down. It's Masiello. Anna Masiello trying to juke out Abby Malquit, but she was ready for it. She takes the puck away. Bringing them help is Brianna Ahrens. 30 seconds left to go in the power play. Sophie O'Brien dancing at the blue line. Leaves it down for Cadden. Cadden trying to flip it to herself off the boards. Now finding some space ahead to Dupuis. Dupuis, that shot is blocked and pops up into the air. Puck battled down by those golden balloons celebrating senior night here for the D2 team. Cadden has a little bit of space above the hashes. Loose puck in front of the net, and the whistle is blown. Interesting there to see the whistle the referees take a second to blow that whistle to let Brianna Ahrens fight for that puck. Looks like the first unit is going to come back out for Colorado. Only 2 seconds left to go in the in the Shapiro penalty. They're actually going to go first line here with Abby Zahn in place of Anna Masiello, who is out there for the entire power play. Buffs are 0 for 2. Under 2 minutes to go. Buffs need to. Cleared out by UMass. Zoe Dupuis at center ice. To Natalie Ewald. Got around her defender. Now she takes a shot and a save made by Matthews. Buffs starting to run out of time here. You got to think. We'll see if Zoe Watson will head to the bench.
It is a possibility. Piatagorski heading back in for the draw. 90 seconds to go. Buffs are still down by 2.
Nasty fighting with Evans for the puck. Kept in by McDonald. Cadden got a reverse hit put on her by Zhu. Some breaking news here around the final minute of play. Jordan Seaton, who hit the transfer portal, has committed to LSU. He'll be on that line for the Tigers.
That's big news for Lane Kiffin and the Tigers down in Baton Rouge. Just imagine a team that somewhat struggled last year, this past season in the SEC, having Seaton on that line. We'll see what they can do.
45 seconds separate UMass from their 10th win of the season. Watson's going to stay in her net. A last chance effort for Colorado. McDonald puts one on. Shelley tried to put the rebound on net but couldn't do so. Now it's Natalie Ewald up to McDonald. McDonald's shot didn't have anything on it. 20 seconds left to go on this one. Masiello along with her line mates are going to fight for the puck in the corner. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. McDonald with a shot. Save made. 8 seconds to go. 7 seconds to go. Pinned up along the boards. We get a whistle. 4.0 on the clock. And it looks like UMass is going to head home with a victory tonight. That first line's going to stay out, seeing if they can do anything here in the last 4 seconds. They will not be able to. The Minute Women win. They take down the Buffaloes. It's Colorado's first loss in 5 games. As we welcome you into the booth here with UMass finishing off Colorado. A tough loss for Colorado for sure. They've got another game against the same team tomorrow, and Kieran, they need that one.
Absolutely. I mean, this was the toughest opponent that Colorado has had to face in the new year, possibly all season. UMass coming from Amherst, and handshake taking place here at center ice. So Colorado, the best they could hope for now is a series split this weekend here in Boulder, as they are still in the race for the top spot in the WWCHL, right up there with the Utah Utes.
Absolutely. It was really an all-around performance from UMass. The passing was a lot better from them. They had the puck on their stick for most of the game. The two goals from Colorado came from really nice shots, and that was all that could beat Sarah Matthews tonight. Coming up after this, the D2 team is going to face off against SMU here on Scobuff Sports. The teams will have their handshake line at center ice. They will say thank you to the referees, and then Colorado will salute their crowd. Not too happy with themselves, but they have a game to make it up. And then after that, it is a 4-game stretch against the Utah Utes, the biggest stretch of the season for Colorado by far. It is most likely going to decide the WWCHL. We'll be back at you here at the Rec Center tomorrow at 11 a.m. to finish out this series, as well as D2 playing after that at 3 p.m. on Sunday against SMU. The final score here tonight between the Minutewomen and the Colorado Buffaloes, UMass wins 4-2. That is going to do it for our coverage of women's hockey here on Scobuff Sports. Men's D2 coming up next, senior night here on Scobuff Sports.